This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Status quo.
Those croissants are for those who were here for davening. And they'll be left over for the Shabbat. And meanwhile, the Rav is willing to take questions.
I mean, it was through the challenge of the Sidna of Haman, right? Haman wrote a Sidna, so Hashem allowed it to stop. Yeah.
No, not to take down, please. Not to take down.
What is that?
If you cook that, we're going to Okay, if we could put one box there for year 11, we have to go now. Year 11 has to go now. But if anybody wants to ask any kind of question to the Rav, okay, year 11, okay. Again, it's only for those who care for davening. But is there anybody who wants to ask questions? Like Sharon.
Thank you. Go for it.
The second base of Mikdash was when we started writing down the Mishnah, which was kind of seen as like a decline in Torah Shabbat Peh. The fact it needed to be written down. Now, if we only really started like getting in, if it was only after Purim that we fully accepted Torah Shabbat Peh, why is it that immediately we had the decline?
What's your name?
Ruben Feldman.
Ruben Feldman is asking, why do we see a decline in the Torah Shabbat Peh and the second base Hamikdash? Actually, one of the great mysteries of Jewish history is that there was an explosion of Torah Shabbat Peh from the time of the second base Hamikdash. That the real proliferation of Torah Shabbat Peh began in the time of the second base Hamikdash. That's when all the Gezeros of the Chachamim began. Takanas Ezra, Stam Yenam, Pas Akum, Pas Palter, and all the Yud Gimel Midah Shatar Nidreshes Bahem came specifically from the time of the second base of Mikdash forward. Actually, you know, if you learn Tanakh, you'll see there are very few open miracles in Tanakh. You learn the Gemara, you see, the Gemara is replete with open miracles. And the reason for that, the Baal HaLeshem explains, is that because the second base of Mikdash ushered in an era of proliferation of Torah Shabbat Peh, along with it came a greater control over the whole universe in general. Okay. The more questions you ask, the less class you'll have. Okay, have a Afrei Lechem Purim, everyone. One more? Okay. Yeah. Bring him the mic.
If the majority of Israel were bowing down upon Reuben, what was there supposed to be saying?
If the majority of the Jewish people were bowing down, what was the zechus that Klal Yisrael were saved? There were a number of ideas, but the most important thing to know is that it doesn't take much. Ultimately, the main principle of the Torah is that we are the beloved children of Hashem. And even at a time that we're undeserving and unworthy and without merit, Hashem's love for us is so overwhelming that He's going to find a reason, by hook or by crook, to bail us out. So there were zechusim. The Gemara in Megillah says that while most of the nation was being nana from the Sud of Achashverosh, the Gemara implies there were Jews sitting at their Shabbos table, singing Zmiros, saying Divrei Torah. The Ben Yehoyada says that was the zechus of the Jewish people. There are many things we could point to, but ultimately, think about the time and the juncture that Hashem picked to start orchestrating the salvation. Hashem picked the very Sud of Achashverosh, when we were being nene from the Suda and we were liable to be destroyed, Hashem picked that moment to start orchestrating events to save us, to demonstrate that even when we're unworthy, we're almost irresistible to Him. The Chassam Sofer writes, that was the main miracle of Purim, that Hashem picked the lowest moment in our history to pave the way for the greatest salvation of our history. Yeah.
Parsha?
Why is there a chiyuv to get drunk on Purim?
Why is there a chiyuv to get drunk on Purim? Very good question. The answer is because there isn't. Actually, I saw this morning, I was reading this morning in the Chida, in Sefer Avodas HaKodesh. He says, Chayiv lebesumi v'loy lehishtaker. You get to a state of elevated high, as they say. A state of simcha. Now think about it. The poskim say, if it means you're not going to say Berachas Hamazon properly, if it means you're not going to daven properly, you're not going to keep a halacha properly, you can't do it. It just means it's a way of elevating and bringing out certain dormant simcha that lay sleeping the rest of the year, so the wine kicks it up a notch. But if you're endangering people, if by drinking that amount and you get into a car you'd be endangering people, can't do it.
Why is there a mitzvah to be high?
Why is there a mitzvah to be high? You know what?
Oh, really? Why is there a mitzvah to stay before them? How's the second before the last? What's the word again?
The what?
The second before the last.
Penultimate. Anti-penultimate.
So why do you drink till you're plantable, whatever it's called?
Okay. I want to share with you one of the classic commentaries on Megillas Esther was written by Rabbi Eliezer Ashkenazi, Lekach Tov. He has an incredible insight into the mitzvah of drinking on Purim. Technically speaking, there's a halacha that for some reason we don't observe anymore, that at every meal you're supposed to have a zecher l'chorban. So at every meal, you leave like an empty place set, and nobody sits there to remember the Beis HaMikdash. There's only one exception to the halacha. There's only one time a year you don't make a zecher l'chorban, Sudas Purim. That's a big enigma, why we don't have a zecher l'chorban at Sudas Purim. So Lekach Tov says like this. When Mordechai suggested they have a Yom Tov of Purim, the Jewish people said, how can we celebrate Purim? We're going to have a Yom Tov now? The Beis HaMikdash lay in ruins. The Beis HaMikdash is destroyed. We're going to have a day of celebration and forget about the Chorban? So Mordechai said, we're in a jam over here. On the one hand, we can't forget about the Chorban. On the other hand, we got to celebrate Purim. So Mordechai was masake in the following mitzvah. Listen to how he says it. Chayiv inish lebesume bepuraya ad delayada mechorban beis hamikdash. That's the mitzvah. But it would be sacrilegious to say those words. So they couched it in a terminology ad delayada beinar haman lebaruch Mordechai. But the meaning of it is that when you're in a situation in life when you have things bogging you down and bothering you, so basically you drink only so that you are able to put down and, sometimes something's weighing on you, you're so focused on it, it's so acute, that you can't be happy about anything else. So the reasoning behind the mitzvah is, sometimes in life, you have things that, are nagging on you, so you drink a little bit, it takes the edge off of, what's really nagging you. And then you're able to bring out the true Simchas HaMitzvah of Purim. But, I'm just telling you my personal, and you could speak to your own Rabbeim, your liver is more important than your alcohol. And if a young man drinks too much, even one time, you could kill yourself. You could do permanent damage. You can make a mistake that you can never repair. So, we're medaktik in every halacha, but the most important halacha is your own life. And I don't just mean your physical life, your emotional life. People have done things in this world. I don't just mean, get into a car and besides a person Chas V'Shalom could really take their life, people have done things, inappropriate things, without thinking, and sometimes you can never recover from it. So, Chacham ein of Beroishai, everything's a balance in life. The most important thing is, everything has to be with reason. So, if you're on the level, if you have the maturity level, to be able to experience the little besume in a way where you're still being careful for your physical safety and your reputation and your entire life, then you're ready for this mitzvah as well. For more information, speak to your highly qualified Rabbeim. Thank you.
I must tell you that I enjoyed your humor immensely.
Thank you.
But just remember, it's only the two of us. Let's face it. It's only the two of us that understood it. It was Pashat Nifla, and without going to any details of today, but there are people that tried to kill us 5 months ago. That's a fact. The Nahafachu, we should be zoichet to the Nahafachu also Yetz Hashem. And I told the Oilam that, yesterday Rabbi Tzukar Shalevsky had a son that was born. Rabbi Tzukar Shalevsky is not an individual private man. He's a Klal Yisrael Yid. Everybody knows him. So it's a Pesura Torah for Am Yisrael, not just at the individual level. And now we're starting to see, Be'ez Hashem, the Hipuch of Chodesh Adar, that's Marbin B'Simcha for all Klal Yisrael. Be'ez Hashem is well. Okay, everybody, so each one will, Rabbi Gorka, you want to say something? Really, come on, Rabbi Gorka, say something, come on. Yeah, but so my share, guys, go with Hashem to learn. And where's the Rabbi Rowe?
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.